Jack of all trades, but master to none. That is avoidantly attached people. The reason why avoidants love to be in these poly situations, love to cheat, love to have triangulation, love to have so many different relationships going on at one time is because the more relationships that they have, the more that they have incomplete connections, incomplete connection, incomplete connection, incomplete connection, incomplete connection, incomplete connection. They divide their time with so many people so that their objective of nobody knowing who they are gets fulfilled. Because if they think about it, the more they spread their time out, the more that they spread their attention, then nobody gets to know them. They get to remain a mystery. They're not getting too vulnerable with one person. They're not overexposing their life story, their traumas, what makes them sad, what makes them happy. You know, what's the secrets, what's the riddles and the mysteries to their heart. They're not letting that happen. And they're getting the dopamine from multiple different sources. And they're getting validation because remember, these people are, they feel like they're not worthy. They feel like they're not deserving of love. They feel depression. They feel, less than. They feel that, that they're not worthy. They feel all these negative things. And so the only way to continue to stay feeling high, it's not that you're not enough. And this is the part that you got to understand. It's not that you're not enough. It's that they need this much validation to feel good about themselves, and they don't feel worthy of you, especially if you're somebody who's really polished, really sharp, really clean, came from a 2-family household, your family loved you, you always got good grades, you stayed in school, you weren't distracted, you're like you're not a bad apple. Yeah, though, if you're that type of person, you are not going to be enough, because although the avoidant wants to be with you, they don't feel like they can have you. It's the equivalent of going to the jewelry store. You go to the jeweler, and it's like, you're looking at a iced out chain or something like that, or a Rolly, and the jeweler be like, yeah, that's $25,000. And your finances is tight right now. You don't know that if you hustle up and you find a couple other different hustles or side hustles or whatever, you could get that Rolly like this. You could get that iced out chain like this. The avoidance, if they just go to therapy, they could sustain a relationship with somebody like you who's too clean and all that stuff. But they don't see it right now as they are. They don't see that they are able to have this. And so they try to self-sabotage, and they know that in all the moments where they disappoint you, instead of sitting in that sorrow, instead of sitting in that disappointment, they just go run to another person. They go run to another outlet and source of validation. This is why they move like that. This is why they move like that. It's not about the lack thereof of you, but it's about basically being on the run. They're on the run at all times, and they're so much so on the run that they can't give their attention and whole identity to one person. They don't trust it. That's why. There's nothing wrong with you, I promise. Faith and dreams. Swagger, swagger, swagger. Oh, and last thing I'll say, that shame also is why they be cutting relationships off when it gets to the peak, when things are getting too good, like all that. None of their partners really know who they are. None of their exes, not you, not the ex from last time, not the ex from before that. They always self-sabotage these relationships right as it's gonna hit going triple platinum. So in reality, none of their partners know them, and I don't even think any of their family members know them. That's the truth. So it's not personal.